All right, here we go. Freeway Ricky Ross, welcome back.
Yeah,
It's been a lot of times now here.
yeah, we do. This is a big one though. The time is different than I ever seen it before in my life.
Well, than anyone's seen it in anyone's lives that's living right now. We haven't had a pandemic of this caliber since like what the Black Plague,
Yeah,
hundreds of years ago, basically,
yeah.
where it's just scattering all over the whole globe. There's no real cure in sight. People are terrified.
Well, they're saying now maybe Cuba might have a cure.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. We read it. I've been hearing the rumors for a couple days that Cuba had been over in China helping China, and today we pulled the article up and they were talking about Cuba just took the ship from Great Britain. They let them dock, and the ship has been out in the sea, I think, for about 2 months. And so Cuba decided to bring it in. And the only reason that I would think that they would bring it in is because they know something that everybody else don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking online. I don't see anything about a cure in any of the news agencies or anything else like that. Not to say it's not going on, but none of the major outlets are covering it right now.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that too. Most of the major outlets are not ready to make some of the harsh decisions that needs to be made. I'm looking at the news every day, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? We should have been on lockdown 4 weeks ago. As soon as I mean, really, we should have sent scientists and doctors over to China immediately to not only help China but to investigate. And by going over helping, you would have been investigating at the same time, learning what it is, how it's affecting people, and I believe that would have prepared us for what we have to do better than what is taking place. I mean, now it's almost to a point now here in America where the way it hit, I can't think of the name of it, whatever the town is in Shanghai in China.
Wuhan.
Wuhan.
Yeah.
The way it hit Wuhan now, it may hit New York, L.A., Chicago, and all these places all at the same time. And our system is not prepared for it. We've been living like fat cats. Like everything is okay. We got everything under control, and our president has been telling us that, which has been sending mixed emotions to a lot of people, and just so many rumors out here, about it. People were coming up to me just last week telling me, "Oh, why are you tripping? It don't even affect blacks." And
Right. Waka Flocka did an interview where he basically said that black people or minorities can't get the coronavirus. And this was right before 3 basketball players came up positive for it, all of them black.
Yeah. So, it's just so much stuff out there that's not being said and not being done. And if we don't make some serious actions, this could be, a serious problem for the whole country, the whole world.
Yeah, I mean, it is a problem for the whole world. Italy is on 24-hour lockdown. I believe Spain is in the same boat right now.
Yeah.
They're saying Germany is going to be the next big one affected.
I heard that as well.
Yeah.
Well, China is helping Italy now.
I bet.
Yeah, so they've learned, and that's what's so crazy. It's like this is a time where you put down your differences. Whatever I'm communist. You capital, whatever that is. The differences. This is not the time to settle those differences. This is a time that it's a global threat. Some people estimated the U.S. could lose 2 million people.
Yeah, I read the same thing. I read 3 million actually, because the fatality rate is about 2%. But you got to really look at those numbers with a grain of salt, because it only really affects people that are much older, in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And roughly 2 to 3 million people die every year in America because of old age and illness associated with old age. So you have to sort of, a lot of that overlaps.
Right.
So it's not like 3 million more people will die. It's like there's going to be 3 million people dying, and some of those people that are dying already might have the process sped up a little bit because if they catch coronavirus in an already fragile state. So,
and then it could speed up the other people who didn't die when they got it now, but they come back a couple years later and get you then. So we don't. It's just not enough known about it.
They just started human trials, I believe, in Canada. The first human vaccine trial has started, but it's going to be around 12 months before it's actually could be released. At the very earliest, 12 months before it can get released to the public. And that is if this particular vaccine actually works.
Right, if it doesn't have any side effects.
Right, because you and I are old enough to remember the AIDS epidemic and the scare.
Nothing like this, though.
Right, because you actually had to have sex in order to get it.
Right.
Walking down the street, you can't just get AIDS. Although back then, if you remember, there was a lot of paranoia. You were worried. Like, back then, you were scared to hug a person that was HIV positive.
For sure.
You were scared.
I agree.
You were scared to kiss a person who was HIV positive. You were scared. People were scared to be in the same room.
Scared to eat after.
Eat
in
after
the restaurant where they ate out of a plate, out of a spoon.
Yeah, it was very much. Yeah, people that were HIV positive in the 80s really had it bad.
Well, this disease though, it kills like AIDS. They said a friend of mine who is one of the top trauma surgeons maybe in the world. He contacted me from my boxing. He saw me boxing with the boxers, and he contacted me, and he wanted to start helping the boxers. He's was a brain surgeon at Morehouse University, and he said that he can help the boxers with their brain loss, memory loss, and clear their minds up. And it's funny that as soon as we started talking, this epidemic broke out. Right around the same time. And I started asking him about it. And he started telling me some of the things about it, that it had the characteristics of a common cold, but it killed like AIDS. And for me, that was like, wow. So you're saying that somebody could sneeze on a doorknob and then you could pick up something almost as deadly as AIDS, was mind-boggling. Like, wow.
Yeah, this is Dr. Leslie Matthews.
Yeah.
Right, who we're actually going to be interviewing shortly.
Good, I think so. I think the country should be listening to him. He makes a lot of sense. We had did some talks, and he was telling me about how he's probably dealt with more people with respiration sickness than probably anybody in this country or maybe anybody in the world.
Right, and that's what coronavirus really hits. If you get the standard coronavirus, it's just like a regular cold. You might have some fever or headaches or whatever, but if it gets into your respiratory system, that's where the real problems start. And
exactly.
That's where the fatalities start and so forth.
Exactly. And the only way that I see us getting rid of it is we have to shut it down. We have to stop moving around. We have to stop touching each other. And I see that some of the states are really putting in some stiff guidelines.
Yeah, San Francisco's on a 24-hour lockdown for 3 weeks right now.
Well, I feel the whole country should be on a 24-hour lockdown. I mean, we all should make a sacrifice and say, you know what, everything that I have going on right now can wait, so that, it may not hurt the strong, it may not. Even though there's some people that say that it wreaks havoc on your lungs, even if you get over it. Some people that are strong, your lungs lose 20% of its capability. And some doctors are saying that you may get it back, but it's still up in the air. They're saying that people who smoke cigarettes are at danger, So not just the old and the weak. It says some people that smoke cigarettes are still strong, that don't really show the symptoms.
Yeah,